Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to learn how to draw a front view face perfect every single time. So before we get into any details, I'm going to quickly demonstrate what we're going to do. There we go. So let's take a step-by-step approach to how we're going to use this template to create a drawing like this. Okay, so if you look here at the guidelines, each line represents a feature of the face. HL, the top line is going to represent the hairline. The next line is the eyebrow line. Not the eyes, but the eyebrows themselves. This line here will represent where the bottom of the nose is, and this line here will represent where the bottom of the chin is. Notice that we have three equal areas in size. Okay, you want to make sure they're really close. I mean, they can be a little bit off, but basically you want three equal areas. That's the best way to learn, and then later we will learn how to manipulate these three areas to create different characters, etc. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating these four guidelines, then a center line, then the sides of the face, and then the top of the skull, and then we'll put in features. Okay? Alright, so here we go. The first step is to draw the four horizontal lines. There's the hairline. Here's the hairline. And the next line. So we can just randomly decide the distance between the first two lines. That'll be the hairline. This will be the eyebrow line. So once we have the first two lines, now we have to keep things equal. So you can measure. Nothing wrong with measuring. Okay, or you can just do it. You can just eyeball it. Okay. Now we have hairline, eyebrow. This is going to be the bottom of the nose. And then the last line, of course, will be the bottom of the chin. Then I like to draw a center line for the face so I know where the nose is going to go, etc. Now it's time to decide what style of face you're going to make. Is it going to be a wide face, a medium face, or a thin face? If you want to just do a medium width face, just make squares. Okay, so that looks to be about a square. So there's the side of the face, and again, if you want to, you can measure out, or you can eyeball it depending on what level you are. Okay, what ability you have to be able to do things by sight. So I think this side is a little wider, so I'm just going to shave a little bit off here. That looks better, and then I can either leave it but I'll erase it just for this. There we go. For the video here. Alright, so now we have the main three areas, okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add the top of the skull. Well, how much should we add? Well, if we divide this first section into thirds, and we add a third above, that's about how much you want to add to the top of the head, from the hairline to the top of the skull. Okay? And then we'll do the sides of the skull in a bit. Okay, so it's time to add the features. And an important thing to realize here is we are not going to take time to draw detailed features. it would be a big waste of time to spend 10 or 20 or 30 minutes drawing all beautiful features and details and then find out they're in the wrong place. So what I like to do is I like to place the features with simple placeholder shapes and then do the details after I look at the face and, you know, I get to this point here and I say, oh yeah, everything's, you know, roughly in place, and now I can spend time on details and turn it into a finished drawing such as this or this, etc. So let's add those features. The first thing I'm going to do is add the nose, and the basic shape I'm going to use for the nose is just a triangle. Easy to place, easy to do. Then I'm going to do the eyebrows, and one thing you want to note, and this is again why we want to have some reference pictures here. You can see that on these two characters the eyebrows go past the tear duct of the eye. Let's look at some, let's see if we can find a clearer picture. Here we go. So on this lady here, the corner of the eye is here, and the eyebrows come in just a little bit. This is why I like to place the nose first, because then it gives me an idea of where to put the eyebrows and how to place the eyes. So, the eyes are going to start at the edge of the nose, so that's where the eyes are going to start. But remember, this is our eyebrow line, and it's going to go in just a little bit. So that's where I'm going to draw the eyebrow. And you'll note I don't do any details, I'm just putting in a thick line to represent that. I know the eyes are going to start, the inside part of the eyes is going to start here. And now what I'm going to do is just draw a line however far below the eyebrows I feel. And again, you can take a look at a reference sheet and just roughly guesstimate. If we divide this nose into let's say 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. The bottom of the eye is about 1/3 down from the eyebrows. So about here is where the bottom of the eyes is going to be. And the placeholder shape I like to use for a realistic style face is a rectangle shape like this. I call it the slanted rectangle. Here's where the tear duct is going to be. It's easy to draw, easy to put in place. We can guesstimate how much on the outside of the face to leave. Okay, so these slanted rectangles are perfect placeholder shapes until we get in there and do the details. Alright, so we have eyebrows, we have eyes, we have the nose. Now placing the mouth. Placing the mouth goes like this. You find halfway between the bottom of the nose and the bottom of the chin, so approximately here. And then you decide how thick the bottom lip is going to be. And you can see here the bottom lip is quite thick and the top lip is thick but thinner than the bottom lip. So if this is halfway from here to here, we are going to make the lip about this thick and we're going to place the mouth opening about here. The mouth opening is always closer to the nose than it is to the bottom of the chin. So here's the mouth opening. We're going to draw a flat triangle, and the bottom part will be thicker than the top part. Okay, so this flattened triangle shape is really good, a really good placeholder shape to create the mouth. All right, let's keep going. Now the chin basically starts curving in where the mouth opening is. So if I'm drawing the chin like this, okay, it's really going to start coming in right here where the mouth opening is. And if I'm drawing a realistic character, there's going to be a bit of a flat area here. If I'm drawing a manga chin, I'm going to make it really nice and pointy. Okay, all right. So realistic-ish, and I think this bottom part is a little too long, maybe from here to here. So I'm going to just shorten the chin just slightly, like that. Okay, there we go. So now we have a chin, and Next we'll add the ears. Now the ears we can do with a 3-line ear placeholder shape. Starting at the top of the eye, we go up, we go down, and then we go back in to the bottom of the nose. Go up and out, go down, and come back in at the bottom of the nose. And then for simple details of the ear, I just do this number 5 here, like that. And on the other side, it's a backwards number 5. Like that. That's enough detail. Okay. Now, let's add the back of the skull. So the back of the skull is wider than near your eyes, so I always add a little bit of thickness on the skull on both sides and come down to the ear like that. Next, we're going to add the neck. For young characters or females, I generally do a thin neck. If I'm doing like a superhero or a male, I'll add thicker necks. If I'm doing like Batman or Superman, I'll make the neck as thick as the jaw right up here, and super big thick neck for those strong character types. Now, what are we going to do here? Okay, so the widest point of the face is the cheek, and obviously the cheek is under the eyes, so we can add a little chevron shape here. What is a chevron? Chevron shape is this. Okay, you can see it on roads a lot of times. So that's the widest point of the face on the front. And then we could add some details. We could add the eyes, eyeballs, I guess that is. And I'll just do 2 lines like that until I get into details. Okay, so let's add in the hairline starting at the sideburns. They come out a little bit to the side, then it goes up. And then if you take note, most people have a little bit of an indent here where the hair comes towards the eyebrow. Then it goes back out. And then it goes up to the hairline like that. Now hairlines themselves have different shapes. You have the pointed widow's peak, or you have them come down in a curve like that. For now, we're just going to basically go straight across our hairline. We'll go back out, come in over the eyebrow a little bit, come back out, and go down to the sideburn like that. And there we go. Okay. Whoop. Now, from here you can spend as much time as you want creating details and refining your picture. Okay, so another little trick is to do an erasure of your whole picture and lighten it up. So I just take the flat part of my eraser and I do a quick erase. And now from here we can start refining our picture. And so if I want to do the nose and maybe make it a little more detailed, I'll use this M shape. Put in some nostrils. Okay, a little more realistic eyes. Shape the mouth. And you can spend as much time as you want refining your picture, of course. You can leave these here. Now the ear, I generally do 4-line ears like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's all kinds of ways you can detail the ear. Okay, and I think I'm going to reshape the jaw. I'm going to have it come in more, then like this. Shade the bottom lip. Shade the bottom of the nose. Here's a shape I like to use for eyebrows, at least female eyebrows. And then you have to decide on what you're going to do for a hairstyle. And if we take a quick look again here, this lady here just has it all pulled back, or maybe it's just really short, but it looks like it's pulled back. So we can do that. There's always going to be a little bit of volume, even if the hair is short. So it's going to be above the skull. And then we can just draw some. Not going to take too much time here. Okay, and then tear ducts. The eye crease here for the eyelid. Maybe do a little bit of a shadow here for the bridge of the nose. Shadow under the chin. Okay, there we go. November 21st. And that's it.